Welcome to Dialogue. Expanding China's opening up has been a key message of the third plenary session of the 20th CPC Central Committee. It also explains the goal of China's 144-hour visa-free transit policy, which has also recently been in the spotlight, igniting a surge of China travel with a growing number of foreign vloggers sharing their travel experiences on social media. The visa-free transit policy has been expanded to cover 54 countries and 41 ports. So what does such a practice, together with a growing list of visa-free deals, say about China's determination to further open up? What do these foreign visitors say about their stay in China? And what more can China do to attract more people from around the world to come visit? Join us for our discussion today from Beijing. I'm Xu Qianduo. Joining me today first are Reanne and Ben, a full-time travel couple from the UK. They've just completed their trip to China, and their videos about their visit have become very popular. Welcome, Reanne and Ben.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Well, in May, you explored China for the very first time. Tell us, what made you decide to travel to China?
To be honest, we was just really intrigued. We've heard so much about China over the years, positive, a little bit like propaganda, and we just thought we've been doing this traveling for the last 3 years, and we just wanted to see things with our own eyes.
So, did you expect your videos about China, have become so popular on YouTube, for example?
To be honest, no, we actually didn't. But I think the West are interested because we've heard so much about China, and you just want to get a real life, honest, unbiased opinion from someone from the West.
Yeah, hopefully more people will take a look at what China really is, with their own eyes, and then they will buy, they will, have their own understanding of what really going on inside the country. I mean, you spent some time in Beijing, both of you. You tried Beijing street food. You took public transportation. You went shopping in the supermarket. So something different probably from back in the UK?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's all very different. Just everything just opened our eyes. It's just a great place and great technology and electric cars, and we really love it.
And the food shocked me the most. We eat Chinese food here, and it's nothing like.
Oh, the pastries!
It was unreal.
Pastries, unbelievable.
And the Peking duck. I think about it now. It was one of the best things I've ever eaten.
Okay.
Definitely.
So, what impressed you the most, Ben?
Personally, I thought the fact that you can get a food delivery to the metro station, so you can get on the subway, you can go to your stop, get off there, and then your food will be waiting for you. So you can just eat your food. It's just everything in China is they've just got it sussed.
Easy.
It's all easy.
Yeah.
Okay, convenience, Reanne.
Convenience. Convenience.
Yes.
Well, yes, kind of a different experience in that respect. What about other, aspects? I know that you two were called night walking couple. You walked, early morning, late night in Beijing. How about that?
Yeah. By the way, we love that name. Yeah. The funny thing with that is, it was our to walk in a country we had no telephone, we had no money, we had never been to China before, and to get our first experience of how safe China is in such a way, to be honest, we were lucky it was safe, because it was a bit stupid by us, but we do stupid things. That's what we do. But
it gave us the proper feeling. If you're going to experience any country, walking at night, you get to feel how safe it was. There's just people outside exercising. There's barely any cars on the road. It was a nice walk, to be honest.
Yeah,
the weather was nice.
It was cool.
We enjoyed it.
That is true. That is true. You know, for people, went to China, they have China experience. Often talk about that, the safety. That is one thing people like. And even you walk in the early morning hours, you don't feel bothered or feel threatened at all. So and also, of course, this city is large. I mean, this country is large. So where have you been?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we was only on the 7-day visa, the 6-day visa, the 144-hour visa. So we only got a chance to experience Beijing, and we saw the Great Wall of China as well, which was incredible. But obviously, there's a lot more of China we want to see.
Yes, we only saw like a tiny little bit.
Tiny little bit. Yeah.
That's the beginning. That's a good beginning, I guess. Before the recent heat of China travel, there was a concern of a payment, paying in China. Even you hire a taxi or you pay people. It's cashless society here in China. People from like European countries, like from the UK. Some people find it kind of challenging if you don't have the app, WeChat Pay, Alipay. How did you overcome that?
At first, it took us about 2 days to get our head around it. But once we did, we was like, why isn't everyone doing this? Why aren't we doing this back at home? It was so easy. And so quick.
And everyone like helped us. So if we went and bought something and we got struggled, like the person behind us in the queue will jump in and help us.
Everyone was really helpful.
Everyone has like a transmitter device. Translation device. And would kind of communicate through that, which is what helped us get through it. Because I was a little bit on the first day, I was like, oh, how am I going to do this? The language barrier.
Yeah, it was challenging.
Yeah, but where everyone helped us, like even security helped us through it and made us like meet some amazing people and enjoy it even more just by that.
So next trip, I'm thinking like you are coming back to China like in October.
Yes.
Yeah. What's on your mind? Which cities or places are on mind?
We're thinking Chongqing, Chengdu to see the pandas.
Yes. Panda.
Shanghai and the surrounding cities around Shanghai. And anywhere that people suggest. Obviously, on the YouTube videos, I must have a list of hundreds and hundreds of cities that people are suggesting. So
recommended to you.
Maybe, yeah. So maybe we'll go to some rural areas and some different cities.
So I'm thinking of Ben and Reanne. After this experience, are you thinking of recommending China trip probably to your friends or your neighbors or your relatives, if they are available, go to China and take a look.
Yeah, that's what we do. Like obviously where we've got YouTube, we can share the love, and that's all we're doing. We're recommending saying come to China and see it for yourself. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Reanne. Thank you, Ben. Thank you for speaking to us. Reanne and Ben are not the only ones to travel to China and record their stay. Simon and Ethan, father and son from the UK, also have some interesting stories to tell. Welcome to the show, Simon and Ethan.
Thank you so much indeed. Thank you. Hello.
You also just completed your visit to China. And I know that, Simon, you have been to China for many times. And now I think your recent visit is part of this, it's almost like a trend. People call it China travel becoming a hit. So this is part of the hit. Based on your experience, your understanding, what has made China travel a hit here?
In my opinion, what I've witnessed with China, how modern and how developed China has become in the last 5 to 6 years is incredible. And it was something that I felt compelled to want to introduce my son to, that I think it's vitally important to offer opportunities to our children, for them to open their minds to see other countries and other cultures. And it allows them to broaden their horizons in life.
And you traveled from different provinces, different cities in China. Your trip lasted about 30 days. So obviously, public transportation, and you have some experience. And in particular, I get high-speed train service here in China. People they have experience. Usually, they are, they have something very. They say, they would love to, to travel on the train again. What's your experience?
I'll tell you what, I'll let my son answer that question for you. Just to talk a little bit about the trains and to talk about how we enjoyed the train journeys together throughout. So just
Ethan,
I
go
thought the
ahead.
transportation was amazing in China. I was really surprised when I took my first train. It was amazing. It was so fast. The service that we got on the train was brilliant, like unexceptional, no problems at all. And the fact that you can order food from wherever you want and get it on the train at the next stop is mind-blowing to me. It was amazing.
Yeah,
it was truly incredible because, and I've told many people about our experiences in China, and so many people find it difficult to comprehend the quality of the service that's offered on the trains. And I try to talk to the Chinese people and I say, honestly, you are so blessed with your country, the quality of the service that you receive. But it's like anything in life, you get used to it, don't you? And so for us visiting and being part of it, we're truly amazed, and that's why I invited my son to explain from a younger person's perspective as far as the quality of the trains. Always on time, always punctual. The quality of the seats, the quality of the service on the trains, amazing. Cannot fault. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that is true. The service you mentioned about the service. Of course, there are all kinds of services here in China, in any country. Simon, you brought your son to a hospital, right, in Shanghai. What about that kind of experience? Is that smooth? Is that what you expected? Probably.
That's a very good question, and my honest answer to that is I went to the hospital. I wouldn't say with trepidation. I went to the hospital thinking to myself, my son needs to be seen, my son needs some help, and we need to go. So let's see what happens. And wow, was I shocked to the quality far exceeded anything that I anticipated. I must be honest with you. The quality of the service that was offered out by the hospital, we were not given any preferential treatment. We was exactly the same as everybody else. And from arrival to being seen by the doctor to picking up the medication that Ethan needed was a matter of a couple of 2 hours, maybe in total, maybe 3 hours top, absolute tops, which, in my opinion, the level of service in relation to how much it cost was outstanding. And it's something from our perspective, it's a bit difficult. Obviously in England, the level of service that we receive here sometimes is questionable. But I'm delighted to say, whilst we was in China, wow, just blown away by the quality, the attention to detail, and the professionalism of all of the medical team that took care of Ethan was outstanding.
Well, Simon, my experience is like in China, you can go to see the doctor on the same day, and you will be basically ensured that you will meet the doctor. And the doctor will take a look at you, right? If necessary, they will ask you to do some, test, and then the results will come in. Some medicine maybe that will be prescribed, but that happens in a few hours. That's something in China, something different from like in other countries. You have to have an appointment with a doctor, maybe 1 month away next week or 3 months later. That's something different. Anything else, I know different countries have different systems, in terms of medical service, right?
Of course. It's a very difficult question to answer because the timescale regarding the appointments, certainly from my perspective in the UK, are concerned. You have to phone through to make an appointment, and that can sometimes take several days, several weeks, depending on how lucky you get on the phone call when you speak to the receptionist. Then when you are lucky enough to get to see the doctor several weeks later, then you have to go through the whole diagnosis in relation to what actually is wrong with you. So you may well be referred to the hospital. Once you are then referred to the hospital, there is a team of people that will take care of you. So you may well have to come back for another appointment. the point I'm trying to make here is it's not just a simple process of arriving at a hospital like what we did in Shanghai, where you go in and you see the team of people, whichever floor the issue was on, because every floor seems to have it is suitable for whatever the ailment or the problem is as far as your health is concerned. In the UK, it's slightly different. So it's very frustrating, I must say. And so the level of service that we received in China was outstanding, and it's something that blew us away.
Well, your son recovered soon?
Yeah, full recovery. The doctor was amazing, absolutely incredible. He
Congratulations.
put us, both of our minds at rest, because he reassured Ethan it's nothing for him to worry about. It was a common issue that the younger generation have, teenagers can have, and he prescribed the medication. And within 10 days, Ethan was back to normal, no problem whatsoever. So it was fantastic.
Yeah. Ethan, was you afraid, to meet the Chinese doctors? Maybe, they don't speak English, or maybe it's harder to explain to them, what's wrong with, what kind of help I need? Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Well, I was in China, so it's a completely different country for me. So when I first thought that I had to go to the doctors, I was a little bit nervous, I must admit. But I went to the doctors. He spoke full English. He gave me the treatment, the exact diagnosis of what I had, and I was blown away. We were in the room with the exact doctor for around 5 minutes. He looked around my head and told me exactly what the problem was. Got the medication and was out. It was so easy, and I was blown away.
Well, Simon, China is in a cashless society. People, bring with themselves very little cash, even without a wallet, because people are not using credit card anymore. They just use the mobile phone. That actually created some challenges for people like you from another place. But of course, some measures have been taken to make it easier, to smooth it out. So what's your experience? Is everything okay with you in terms of paying for services?
Yeah, from a Westerner's perspective coming in, the whole process of binding your phone with like Alipay, for example, is so simple. It really is easy. It's not a complicated process at all. I think that we potentially build these things up in our mind because we're going to another country. But China has made this whole process very simple, very easy. It's kind of like an ABC, 1, 2, 3. Just follow the simple steps, which is exactly what I did when we arrived in China. Bonded my phone with Alipay, and we were good to go within a few minutes. Not a complicated process. Then the luxury that you have is to be able to pay for things, to get around with such convenience, so simple. And it's just like, as you quoted already, it's virtually a cashless society now. If you ask anybody, can you pay with cash? It's like everybody thinks, what's this? And from another aspect in relation to safety, it makes you feel secure because you don't have to carry cash around with you, so you never have to worry about losing it in any way, shape or form. Just take good care of your phone.
Well, Simon, you are doing okay, the videos sharing with your followers on YouTube, for example. What kind of a message you are trying to convey, from your China travel?
What I try my best to do is to say, please, to everybody in life, always have an open mind. No matter what goes on as far as media is concerned, no matter what goes on as far as people trying to influence one another, have an open mind. Try to visit a country and make your own opinions. And I try my best through my social media to be honest and give a fair appraisal on my personal experiences, not only now as a slightly older man, but as a younger man without my children, and now as a mature man with my son, so that you have a family orientated trip. So I'm looking at the whole perspective as far as my time in China, not just as a single person, but as a family man, and taking many factors into consideration, and to say to people that the joys of China are amazing. It's outstanding. The people are so kind. The people are so friendly. The cultural opportunities as far as learning about culture, to experience and taste the food within China is just wonderful. So I try my best wherever I can to promote the positivity, because in all the years that I've been going to China, I've got nothing but praise for the country.
Well, thank you, Simon. Thank you, Ethan. Thank you for speaking with us. To delve deeper into the visa policy facilitating more tourism and China's plan for further opening up, I also speak with Professor Baocheng from University of International Business and Economics and Mario Cavolo, Senior Fellow at the Center for China and Globalization. Welcome to the show. Mario, I will start with you. So you have been listening to the stories of Reanne, Ben, and Simon and Ethan. Their China travel stories. You have been living in China for many years. So what's your response, initial response to those stories?
Qinduo, great to be back with you. I've been here in China now 25 years. In October is my 25th year anniversary. I'm going to have a big party, and there's a lot to celebrate. What I was particularly struck by listening to their stories, to Ben and Reanne and is it Stefan and Evan, I was struck by their enthusiasm. They were sharing a genuine and true natural enthusiasm for how impressed they were by their experience, by their unexpected experience when they came here to China. I'll tell you more later. My own brother came for the first time ever and had the exact same reaction. And this is remarkable because it begins to enable us to let the rest of the world see what China is really like today.
Well, Baocheng, of course, China first started to implement this 72-hour transit policy in Beijing, Shanghai in 2013. And then it was expanded to 144 hours in 2016, 3 years later, covering more cities, Shanghai, Jiangsu, Zhejiang, the region. And recently, it was further expanded to cover more ports and, of course, and also open to more countries. What's behind this, gradual opening up, it seems to me? What's this attitude? What's this thinking behind the moves?
Well, for China to go high-level development, one key mark is high-level service. Tourism is definitely part of the high-end service that we are doing to contribute to the not only the income level of our GDP, but also to boost the high-end service. And that, well, with that in mind, we do need to welcome more of the tourists from all across the world. And they are not only tourists, but by seeing China, by falling in love with China, they're able to generate more opportunities from e-commerce, entrepreneurship, joint venture, etc. So they are highly related. And more importantly, I think China is there to shape its own image as a country that is on the top list of the safest country. And China is fully open, hospitable.
But Baocheng, if you look at the numbers, official numbers, for example, first half of 2024, a total of over 14.63 million foreign nationals entered China through ports across the country. That, of course, represents a 152% year-on-year increase. That, obviously the policy is working, but at the same time, it is still is yet to reach the level of 2019. So what more do we need to do? To attract people from other parts of the world to come to China, of course, for opportunities, for understanding, for to see a true China, because China's image, especially in the Western media, to be frank, is not that positive.
Well, the safety is a prerequisite, so China needs really to promote more and communicate more with the world, because some politicians or some the cynics, they try to paint in the image that, oh, China is there to implement more of the national security and also with espionage law, and then they even offer the security alert to the potential travelers, so which is something that is totally distorting the true picture. So the fact that our guests who have been visiting China, they feel very differently when with the media or with some of the political messages. Secondly, I think the visa-free is only a part of the convenience in the entry point, and we need to actively engage more of the direct flight with the rest of the world, touching on major cities. Because if people need to transit and spend the additional hours or even days to come to China, and this will deter their passion, because after all, tourism is not really a necessity, and therefore people are really looking for convenience.
Mario, of course, Baocheng mentioned about this travel alert, mostly from the United States. Travel alert 3. Basically, category 3, basically warning citizens of the U.S., against traveling to China. And your brother is in China, so the experience speaks a lot, probably, about, safety in China, about the necessity of having people visiting each other, or to increase understanding between the two countries.
That's right. And, unfortunately, we have to just speak bluntly about the U.S. government. Their foreign policy is sorely lacking in a lot of ways. And specifically when it comes to China, I'm very sorry to say that their foreign policy, the word that I use lately to describe it, is malevolent. It literally is a malevolent foreign policy. It's quite sinister. Not because it's negative, but because it's negative in stating things that are just completely and totally untrue. To say that there's a safety problem, it's not only untrue, it's the opposite of the truth. It's the exact opposite. And that's what people need to know. So we're fighting a monster machine, this negative machine that the U.S. government supports.
We need more people, actually, and make it easy for more people to visit China, to take a look with their own eyes what's going on. In that way,
and that's
probably,
that's right. The best PR campaign they could have ever done was just open the country up to let everybody come without a visa. What a brilliant, one of the most brilliant policies that Beijing has come up with in so long. I was so happy to see it. It was a stroke of genius, this policy to let people come. Yes.
On that note, we come to the end of today's show. Many thanks to our guests. You can also find us on the CGTN app on YouTube. I'm Xu Qinduo. Thanks for being with us. See you next time.